This year I realized I'm getting older. I'm not gonna live forever. I actually have a driver's license, and someday very soon I'm gonna die. But first, most of the people that I love and care about are gonna die. Then I'm gonna die. Possibly alone. Last week I attended one of my childhood friends' weddings, and it made me feel like shit. There'll be no more opportunities for girls' nights out, and there weren't very many to begin with. Not enough. Not nearly enough. No more staying up late and talking about guys or wondering what we're gonna do with our future, because this is what we're doing. And what exactly am I doing? What are the odds now that we're gonna do something extraordinary? Or is this actually the American dream? A family, your own house, being married. I feel like married life puts you on this certain trajectory in which kids are next, then your kids get older, then your kids have kids, then you have grandkids, then you die. Within a year or 2 or 3 or less, I could be getting a call from that very same friend who got married last week saying that she's pregnant. And why do I say all of this with such a sadness? It scares the ever-living daylights out of me to think that, holy crap, this is my destiny. Because I've kind of always felt like you lose your identity when you get married. They influence your opinions, you influence theirs, and you kind of become like one, like a unit. And it's not just marriage, it's like dating too. Dating really shapes you, especially if you start doing it when you're young. And I am kind of a late bloomer on all of that stuff. I remember being 14, surrounded by other girls just talking about boys and how much they hated their parents, and I couldn't care less about boys, and I loved my parents, and I felt so out of place. I don't think I even started thinking about dating or marriage until I was like 17, but one thing that I did decide indefinitely when I was 8 years old was that I was like never gonna have kids. I don't know why when I was 8 years old I felt all this societal pressure to have kids. I just thought this is something that you have to do. You have to have a giant baby come out of you down there. And it just scared me to death. It scares me a lot less now, but it just scared me to death as an 8-year-old to think this is my future. And one year before Christmas, I was laying under the Christmas tree and I thought, you know, who says that you have to get married and have a kid? I don't think I'm gonna do that. And this was like the beginning of running away from being a mother or from being a wife or from, I guess, even dating. But my 29th birthday this year was probably the harshest reminder that I can't run away from those things, that I have to kind of face them and really decide if that isn't something that I want for my life or if it is, because I'm alone right now and that might be fine and dandy in this moment, but is it going to be fine and dandy in a few years? So there was a kind of loss of innocence and coming to terms with my own mortality on my 29th birthday. Which is a terrible time to be thinking about all of this and questioning yourself and the way that you've always thought. It really sort of soaked in when my dad came home. He pulled into the driveway with his car that was just utterly broken. The wheels were like falling off the back side of it, and my mom was so super depressed, and dad was super depressed because they didn't know if they were going to be able to fix it or if he was going to have a car, and they were kind of pouting around, and I thought to myself, gosh, I wish this could have happened on a day that wasn't my birthday. And then it hit me, you know, when you're younger and something bad happens on a holiday or on your birthday, you don't really know about it. Like, I've heard years later about the fights that used to take place on Christmas and on birthdays and stuff, but as a child, I never knew that any of that stuff was happening. For me, it was all like, oh, presents and oh, an exciting holiday. We're gonna paint Easter eggs or whatever. My parents kind of encouraged this joy and didn't necessarily like hide from me the fact that bad things were going on, but I was just kind of too young to understand that bad things were going on. And so when faced with the reality that dad might not have a car on my 29th birthday, mom and dad weren't trying to hide it at all. And I thought, oh, that's because they know that I'm an adult, and they know that I understand, and they know that I just gotta deal with this. I used to just put things off and put things off and put things off because of the way I felt or because of circumstances in my life, and I've finally come to a place where I'm realizing, when is a good time to do this? When is a good time to start? Now. It's like I might have days when I feel like horrible and depressed or when I'm physically ill. When is it going to be okay to film this video? When is the perfect time to be emboldened and say this or share this kind of opinion or be this kind of person? Well, waiting for the perfect moment, you'll just be waiting forever. I finally realized that no matter how I feel, I just have to live. I just have to keep going forward, and that is so hard. So I watched my friend dance with this guy, and I saw this bride, this grown woman in a wedding dress, an adult. And I've known her since she was 12 years old, when we used to go over to each other's houses and write these little fan fictions about Star Wars or whatever the crap was going on in my weird mind. Taking walks, going to church, playing video games, staying up late and making these stupid recordings about well, I don't want to tell you what we made recordings about, because it's embarrassing, but that's all the embarrassment and shame that's on me, but so I don't want to share it, but that's over. And I felt like we didn't do it enough. And it's weird being an adult. I look at other people my age and I see that they're out doing things with their lives, kind of, that they at least have a job or some realistic career aspirations. They might have a kid or two. They've certainly dated a lot more than I have, and it's not like these things were super important to me to begin with. It's just I guess that's what normal adults do, and I've never done what normal adults do, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but it just feels like I'm gonna have to do more adult things, and that is not fun. I go to the post office and I mail stuff. I get bank statements. I drive myself to the store to get food. I've got aches and pains in places where I know it's fine now, but that is going to be the thing that kills me when I'm older, in 10 more years, the back pain and stuff that I have or whatever is going to be 10 times worse. But I'm not hopeless. I just realize every day I am less and less in control. And that's actually okay. I spent a lot of years, I think, really clinging to my childhood, clinging to adolescent ideas, and it's sort of peaceful letting those things go and just accepting that whatever happens is gonna happen. But yeah, it's definitely weird. So that's all for now. Thank you for listening. Please leave a comment and tell me when you sort of had your awakening into adulthood. Thank you for listening, and until next time, bye.